sometimes you think you're moving forward, and then you go for a test drive, and you realize your transmission is shifting from first, and then it's sliding through second, sliding through third, and then all of a sudden you're in fourth gear and you never felt the shift. We're gonna drop the pan out of this 55 Chevy and see how bad it is. I'm hopefully not gonna wear it. I'm still gonna end up wearing it. That's the way my world works. Ooh. Got stuck on it. At least I didn't get an ATF shower though. Let's see what this looks like. I'm still gonna end up wearing it.
Boy, it goes to the fourth gear.
That doesn't look good.
Looks like something.
It looks a little metallic.
It's a steel plate.
Yeah, or steel plates are jacked up.
And that's why it's going that right.
I wonder if steel plates or a wave washer, washers broke or something. Got a lot of glitter in it. Don't see any chunks in the pan. It's definitely been rebuilt. A lot of glitter. Well, this was allegedly a stick shift car, and then it was swapped into a automatic car. So maybe that was done for the swap. I don't know. I'm not a good welder, but those are not good welds. Not good at all. Well, we only got metal and glitter in our oil. It's not great. So we're going to put a transmission in it, because that's the quickest solution. Because I want this thing to be running by the weekend. This only has a transmission cooler, radiator mounted transmission cooler. So we need to see if that's enough, because I'm going to guess it needs an auxiliary cooler on top of the radiator cooler. So we'll figure that out. Metal flakes cool in your paint. Not great in your transmission or your engine oil. It's in the box. It's another box. Well, we're going to give FTI transmissions a shot, because it's what was available. So let's get the other box open and see what we have. With a dipstick. TBK. Hey, this transmission comes with the throttle bracket corrector. Very nice. It worked. Derek! Rolls his eyes. Say hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek. We're going this way. Yeah, we're back. Well, you know, I put it on the ground.
Keep me on my toes.
Well, yeah, you gotta keep you guessing. Always gotta keep you guessing. There you go. One wire hookup for the TCC. O-rings on, new seal. Freshly painted. Looks nice. Start filling up our torque converter, and we pull out our old transmission. Make it go.
Otherwise, you gotta hold it.
So unfortunately, we figured out our transmission shifts basically from 1 and slides through 2nd and 3rd and ends up in 4th. The fluid's pretty burnt, clutchy smelling, and it's got about the shade of late 70s bass boat metal flake glitter in the trans fluid. So we're going to put a new transmission in this unit, and it should be awesome. So now I get to get to work. And it would have been so easy to just move the engine forward like an inch when they built this thing. It would have solved so many problems. And it had room on the nose of the engine too. Oh, they made my life miserable. I can't get. I don't know how the guy got this thing in here. I wonder if he pulled the distributor out to get the angle on the back of the transmission. Although that doesn't make sense because the dipstick's against the firewall.
No, the dipstick's getting on my right.
Well, the dipstick, you know, there's a lot of dipsticks in here.
Wow!
Oh, it's freaky.
Oh, yeah.
One way or another, I always win.
Yeah.
That is a four-wheel drive case.
When it came out of it?
It's a four-wheel drive case because they cut all the ears off to make it tighter to fit in tighter spaces. Yeah.
So now you're going to have that one rebuilt? Or you send it back?
Core. I noticed something when I was taking it apart, and I realized, I should probably do something about that. There, that's probably better. So I got the transmission out of the 55, and when I was taking that out, I was like, man, it looks like a four-wheel drive transmission. And in the late 80s, early 90s, GM took the same transmission as they had in the half-ton trucks, and they stuck it into all the S10s. And the four-wheel drive trucks had basically two big bolts here instead of the small bolts that hold tin on. They had two big bolts on each side, and the four-wheel drives had three big bolts on each side that held an aluminum dust cover, and it was structural. It actually had support struts that went up to the motor mounts for strength because of the additional stresses of the four-wheel drive system. But in the S10s, they lopped the ear off here and here and they lopped off the holding brackets there and there. And the same over here, they cut it down, shaved it down. And hot rodders love these things because they fit into tight spaces. Now, I don't think we'll have a problem putting this one in here. This one has the wide style flanges, but I think we'll be all right with clearance. And we'll stick her in there and find out. The hardest part about this job is the engine is so close to the firewall that the dipstick tube is literally just crammed into the firewall, and it fought me a little bit coming out. I'm sure it's going to fight me going back in, but it is what it is. We'll make it fit, and we'll go from there. Like, this car has a factory firewall and a factory floor pan. A lot of guys, when they do a modern, when they modernize them and do different stuff, they'll do a 1-inch recessed firewall, or they'll move the engine and transmission forward an inch. And the problem with moving that engine forward an inch right now is it would mean I would have to change a lot of stuff. Hoses, drive shaft would have to be lengthened, so we would have to build a whole new drive shaft for it. Move the transmission cross member, change the exhaust. The list goes on. You just find all the stuff that needs to be changed because it needs to be changed when you move it. So we're going to try not to do that. We're going to try and put it right back where it came from. So with that, we're going to get these trannies switched out and get this thing stuffed back in its hole. And then we'll figure out what else we got to tinker with. Keep on moving. Stay. Let's see if we can shoehorn this thing back in here. And I just keep finding little things that need addressed. Like, these are your torque converter bolts, and these are the ones that were in it. They're just ones that were cut off, and that one's barely got a thread. After you go through the flex plate, you got maybe 2 threads on there. So torquing that down's we're just going to throw those right in the old circular file. We'll use the new ones that came with our new TCI torque converter. So I decided to go to a 153 tooth flywheel because we already had a high torque starter with a dual position. It'll give me a little extra clearance to get the transmission in and out, and it'll actually spin the engine a little faster when we start it. It'll sound better. So now I'm going to test fit the transmission to see if I'm going to have to trim the mounting ears off, because this is a K transmission, or a 4-wheel drive transmission. It has the mounting ears and the flanges cut down, and I may have to cut the ears off the new transmission to make it fit inside this car. So I'm going to test fit it real quick and see, and then if it looks good, we'll put the torque converter in the new trans, flush the trans cooler out, and we'll be done. Put it back together. Alright, other than the dipstick tube, this is much easier to get in and out with that smaller flywheel. So I'm going to drop her out, get my torque converter filled up, flush out my trans cooler, and then I will put it back together for good. Much more room to work with. Oh golly, that scared me. Move that handle. So the new trans fit in there pretty good. We're gonna delete the H pipe and just put caps on these, give it that more classic 55 split exhaust sound. But the smaller flywheel definitely helped with it going in a lot easier than getting it out. Getting it out was quite a chore. So, got a couple more things to put in, we'll fire it up. Sorry about that, Austin. I just left the camera on for like an hour while I was doing other things. So, this is the TV cable that was in here before. I hooked it up with the transmission. This is a standard non-adjustable TV cable. Before, when it came to us, it had zip ties stuck to the end of this to lengthen the line, and the TV cable's buried all the way in. So I'm going to throttle this all the way through. We do have our throttle cable corrector on the carburetor, which it was not on here when we got the car. I'm going to roll this forward, and I'd say there's still something amiss, because when you roll your throttle forward, it should click your adjustment in your TV cable. So let's figure out what's going on there. Little bits, little bits. Because if that is not adjusted correctly, it will burn this transmission up. So there you have it. Today's not the way you usually like to have your day end, but it is what it is. You fix it and you move on. Had a fuel pump failure. Couldn't have had it at a better place than a Meyer parking lot, really. I mean, they have gas cans, they have tools if I needed them, but I'm only like 2 miles from my house, so I was able to diagnose in the lot. We don't have fuel pressure. We definitely have, I was able to put fuel in the tank. I was able to diagnose we don't have fuel pressure. We'll put a fuel pump on it tomorrow. Just one more bug that we're taking care of before the customer takes possession of this car and starts driving the tires off of it. That'll probably happen really fast. We'll probably be putting a lot of tires on this car. Just saying. I know how Mike drives. Well, with that, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. You guys have a great night. And I'm sure there will be another episode of this vehicle coming soon.